Hello, everyone, and welcome once again to Sean's Horror Corner. As always, thank you so much for watching. I appreciate everybody tuning in. Today, super excited to welcome back the man, the myth, the legend, Mr. Ken from Sledgehammer Corner. Ken, how are you, sir?
What is going on? Very, very stoked to be here, man. Love talking to you. Love talking about this franchise.
Yeah, thank you so much for coming back. We're after this one, we'll be about halfway through this franchise now, or I guess this is right about that halfway point. And so far we've been a pretty much a big fan of everything here going on, and I cannot wait to hear your thoughts on this one because I feel like there's a lot of people, not everyone, but a lot of people that are not fans of this movie. It's a lot of people's bottom of the list.
Yeah.
Um, I have some interesting things to say about it as well, but I will say watching it the other day, I'm like, okay, that's not. I don't know. I have mixed feelings, but before we jump in and get everything started, go ahead and take a minute to talk about Sledgehammer Horror. Anything you have coming up over there that you would like to promote, sir?
Yeah. So yesterday we released our review for Ice Cream Man, so you guys can check that out now. Um, just we are doing our retro reviews on Wednesday. Right now we are in the middle of um Jeepers Creepers. So our Jeepers Creepers 3 and Reborn are still coming up. Got a couple of my first horror movies coming up, a couple interviews. Just trying to stay as busy as we can in the next couple of weeks.
Totally get it. Yes, definitely go check out. I mean, I feel like, as I say every time, anybody who's familiar with my channel already knows Ken and Ashley and Sledgehammer Horror. But just in case somebody new happens to pop up and you don't know, definitely go check them out. Follow, subscribe to the YouTube channel. Always great stuff. And I say it every time, but I say it to other people too, not just when you're on here. Ken has just been so helpful to all of us that are trying to do this kind of stuff and always sharing things with us. And I know from the very first time that you came on my channel. Anytime you text me with a suggestion, I'm like, I don't need to think about it. I just need to do it. Like if Ken says do it, do it. That's just the way it works. So
The
just
thing is, like,
appreciate.
it's a family. Like
Yeah,
we're supposed to help each other and be there for each other, and I think that's how it's supposed to be. If
sure.
we can do something to help each other out, we should all pull that trigger and do that thing.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree. And Ken's probably the busiest guy that I've seen out here. Like it just blows my mind. Because I get 3 videos out a week, and I do one live a week, and I feel like I have no spare time whatsoever. And then I look, and Ken's putting out something every single day, sometimes multiple things a day, and I'm like, how the hell does this guy do it? I just really don't know. But you're killing it, man. So we all love everything you're doing. If you don't know Ken, then definitely go check out Sledgehammer Horror. Um,
Thank you, man. That means a lot.
you're welcome. And I like the hat. I don't think I've seen you wear that hat yet for these
Well,
episodes.
you haven't because I bought it today for this.
Oh, okay, fantastic. All right, very good. Yeah, I was looking to see if I had actually had any Seed merchandise, and I don't. I've got a lot of Chucky stuff. I've got a lot of Bride of Chucky stuff, but nothing Seed. So I'm gonna have to change that. But before we jump in and we start talking about this one, kind of give me your spoiler-free thoughts, if you don't mind, on Seed of Chucky.
I do think this is the weakest in the franchise. Um, Still very enjoyable. I still have fun with this movie. And even though storyline I feel is the weakest, I think this has some of the best kills in the whole franchise.
Okay.
So, and one thing you can say about this movie, you can say it's good, you can say it's bad, you can say whatever you want about it. But the one thing you cannot say is that this movie is boring.
That's true.
This movie at no point ever leaves you bored or looking for something else to do. So I got to give it its credit for that. Like I said, while I will say yes, this is the weakest in the franchise in my opinion. Um, it's still a fun movie that I really do enjoy.
Yeah, yeah. You know what? I agree with you. It is my least favorite as well. I'll go ahead and say that. But I, I'd only seen this movie maybe once or twice. I know I'd seen it once. I may have seen it one other time, and I had never gone back and rewatched this one because in my head I didn't like this movie at all. I just really thought this one was terrible and my least favorite. And so even from time to time when I'd go back and watch the other ones, I would always skip this one. I just would never go back to Seed of Chucky. But wanted to cover it since we're going through the whole franchise, and so I put it on the other day. And watching it the other day, there were a few things that I'd forgotten, having not seen it that much. But at the same time, I'm like, this is not as bad as I thought it was. Like I
No,
don't. Yes, probably the weakest in the franchise, but there's so many franchises that have worse movies than this. So I'm not sure. I'm with you. I'm not a huge fan of the story, but everything else. for the most part works. So yeah, it's not as bad as I thought. I don't know what I was thinking, but anyway, we'll jump in. The Seed of Chucky from 2004 tagline for this film: "Fear the Second Coming." Brief synopsis: This time around, Chucky and his homicidal honey Tiffany are brought back to life by their orphan offspring Glenn. Then the horror goes Hollywood as Chucky unleashes his own brand of murderous mayhem. Film released November 12th of 2004. Directed, of course, by Don Mancini. Distributed by Focus Features. Runtime of 86 minutes. A budget of somewhere between 12 and 29 million. I believe it was closer to 12. Box office 24.8 million. A couple of members here of the cast, real quick. Of course, Jennifer Tilly, Brad Dourif, John Waters, Billy Boyd, and Redman. Kid, give me your thoughts on cast and characters for this one.
Love John Waters.
Yes.
Obviously, always been a very big John Waters fan. Love Redman in this movie. He cracks me up. He's so funny in this movie. And I don't think it's any, big surprise to anybody that I'm a huge Jennifer Tilly and Brad Dourif fan, so
right.
You get those two together, I'm always it's always gonna be a good time when you have
Sure.
them together. But more so than that, even like you were talking about just now, Billy Boyd is kind of the MVP of this movie.
Yeah.
And again, love Chucky, love Tiffany, but his voice acting in this movie is so good. It's
Right.
so good. His Glenn and Glenda.
Yes.
I just wish that the representation was done a little bit better in this
Sure.
movie. I mean, Don's a queer director. We all know that. He's
Right.
LGBTQ. So obviously, he didn't do this in purposeful bad taste.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, I don't believe that he went into this going, how can I poke fun at somebody that's trans? You know what I mean?
Right.
But it was very, very, this is what, 90, is this in 98? I want to say.
This one was 2004.
Wow. Holy
Yeah.
shit. Time flies when you're old.
Yeah.
So it must have been Bride was 98 or something.
Bride was 98. Yes, sir.
But it's just like, they still, in this movie, they do make an attempt to bring something to the forefront that wasn't before.
Sure.
And really, really shove it in your face with the trans issues, but without being political about it. You know what I mean? They had a queer character and a trans character, and that's all you needed to know. It didn't have to be a political thing. If this movie came out today, they would call it the woke Chucky. But,
right.
it is what it is. I think that the representation could have been done a little bit better, but that's the least of my concerns with this film.
Yeah, I agree. Again, like you said, Brad Dourif, Jennifer Tilly are amazing. John Waters is fantastic. Redman also surprised me with his comedy, and Billy Boyd, the voice acting is great. I do want to ask you your thoughts, because we've talked multiple episodes now about how great Chucky looks, about how great Tiffany looked. What do you think about the look of Shitface, Glenn, Glenda, references, all those things? Because I think that's the one thing. I don't like the look of this doll as much, but what are your thoughts?
They're right there.
You got it? Okay.
They're down there hanging out.
Shitface
is down there.
Nice.
You know what? It's not so much that I have a problem with them. It's just that they, unlike original Chucky and original Tiffany, they didn't look like evil dolls.
Right.
They just looked like dolls, where Glenn and Glenda look evil. They look like scary dolls. And that was the only real issue I had with their look.
Okay.
I don't want them to look scary. I want them to look innocent. I want them to look like you could just play with them and it'd be a child's play toy. If I saw them at the store when I was a kid, I would have probably shit my pants. Like, there's no way I would have wanted to play with these things.
Yeah. No, I agree, because even once their looks change and they do Chucky changes, and there's something about Chucky and Tiffany that are cute. Even when they're mean, they're cute. Glenda doesn't have that, and so I think that's what bothers me a little bit about it. There's nothing cute about that at all, and so maybe that's what bothers me a little bit. Again, it's not terrible, doesn't make me not enjoy the film, but it is one of the few things that bother me about it a little bit. We've both already kind of mentioned that we're not overly fond of this story. What is it about the story? Is there anything in particular that you don't like, or is it just the overall?
for me, it's like, dude, you've spent so long trying to become human again, and now in this, you become content with being Chucky the killer doll.
Right.
It just seems like it's such a switch from the rest of the franchise. And I've said that there are certain times when Don Mancini needed a producer or writing partner to step in and go, "Hey, Don, let's reel this back just a little bit. Let's bring it back." It seems like in every movie they try to introduce something new to the fold, like something new that wasn't there before. Now Chucky and Tiffany have kids, so at first they're gonna, get into Redman and Jennifer Tilly, which to me, it's a little overly meta.
I agree.
To me, where I think that, Bride has that perfect walk of meta and still being a horror movie. This goes a little too meta for me.
I agree.
Yeah. So, and then, like I said, they want to put themselves in them, then they don't want to do it. Then Tiffany has a problem with killing, and she doesn't want Chucky killing anymore.
Right.
But it's like, bitch, you were cutting people's throats with nail files. Like, what do you mean? Like, you want to stop because you have a kid? Like,
right.
It seemed like this is the one movie, we'll talk about another one in a couple weeks, that they really just tried to throw as much shit at the wall as they could, hoping that it would stick.
Yeah, I agree. I'm with you 100%. That was my thoughts, and that was even the note that I made for myself, was that it's too meta. I still prefer Chucky to be scary. I'm a huge fan of those first three movies. I enjoy Bride. I think it does a great job of balancing things out and walking the line, but it's just not my favorite in the franchise because it's overall not the Chucky that I want, even though I love the addition of Tiffany, that kind of thing. I mean, it balanced things well enough that I still really enjoyed it. And this one, that balance isn't there as much. I agree with you. It's too meta, and it's more enjoyable than I thought it was, but it's still just not the best. And I'm glad that we changed gears. I know a lot of people have some issues with Curse, and they have some issues with Cult and some things like that as well. But I'm glad that after this one, we did change gears back a little bit and get away from this and not keep going down this route, because I think it really could have hurt the franchise had we done that. Just a couple of behind-the-scenes things that I'll mention real quick, and then we will get into walking through this. So, Quentin Tarantino was originally offered the role that Redman ended up playing. In fact, the role was written with Tarantino in mind, and then he decided not to do it, and so it went to Redman. How do you think this film looks with Quentin Tarantino playing that character instead of Redman?
I've never heard that.
Oh, yeah.
And I think that would have been hilarious. I like I said, I've never heard that before.
Yeah, I hadn't either. I just found that when I was getting my notes ready for this. Kind of blew my mind.
Yeah, like I can't imagine Tarantino in this role. He probably, but it wouldn't have been the same character, obviously.
Sure.
Tarantino would have acted it a whole lot different than what Redman did.
Sure. It probably wouldn't have been, no, probably. I'm sure the comedy aspect wouldn't have been there the way it is with Redman, because he's kind of funny in this. But
yeah,
it also makes me wonder if it would have helped with the other side of it. So I don't know. It's hard to imagine knowing what the role is, but again, it wouldn't have been the same. But yeah, that fact just blew my mind when I read that the other day. In fact, I had to go back and double check. I'm like, did I really just read that? But yeah, that's what I saw. Chris Sarandon was also offered. I know, was also offered to return as Detective Norris, but due to scheduling conflicts, he was not able to do so. And the original script that that Don Mancini had written had the characters of Andy, Tyler, Jesse, and Jade appearing in the film, but all being killed off. What would your thoughts have been about that? Had we have seen those characters return but end up getting killed? Would you have liked that, or would that have bothered you?
I would have loved to have seen Tyler and Andy come back. I would have been devastated to see either one get killed.
Yeah, my thoughts as well.
Yeah, if either one of them would have got killed, I would have been devastated. Like, I still am hoping to get Tyler and De Silva back in some way.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, I'm still hoping it happens.
Yeah.
But I would have been devastated for for Tyler or Andy to have gotten taken out. That would have really, really bummed me out, just because I think Andy deserves a happy ending.
Right.
Especially with the way that, with the TV show and things like that. Like he does deserve, I think, to have a happy ending.
Yeah, I completely agree. They could have brought Jesse and Jade back and killed them off, and I would not have cared. That would have been
Not even
fine with me. But I agree with you. I would have hated to see Tyler and especially Andy get killed. One more note that I will mention, and that's because we do get to end up seeing part of this in the film. So in 2001, Mancini had written an alternate script where Chucky and Tiffany were going to stay at the Bates Motel. Tiffany would get run over in the parking lot by teenagers, and then Chucky would end up seeking revenge. It was going to be much more of a slasher film. They decided not to go that route. However, that story is used a little bit as a movie that's being watched in the film. Chucky Goes Psycho, I think was what they were calling it in the movie. But I didn't realize that was actually a real script that Mancini had put together. Had you heard that before?
No, but again, I think that would have been, I don't know how that would have been received. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, if it would have been much more of like a darker slasher, sure. Right. And, seeing Chucky in the Bates Motel would have been sick. That could have been iconic.
Absolutely.
But I don't know. I might have preferred that, just because I've always liked the darker, scarier Chuckies.
I agree. Yeah, I agree. I think I would have liked it as well. The only thing, and I mean, we know that these dolls don't stay dead, right? I mean, there's always ways to bring them back. But the idea of Tiffany being such a big impact, introducing her to the franchise in Bride, had you have killed her off in the beginning of this and then not brought her back anymore, that doesn't sound great either. So I do like the idea in some ways, and it being straightforward horror, and seeing Chucky at the Bates Motel would have been fantastic. But if that would have been the end of Tiffany, that wouldn't have been good either. So,
bingo,
in my opinion, yeah. All right, we will get into the plot, start to walk through this a little bit, and hear what Ken has to say. So we open this film up 6 years after Bride of Chucky. We see this little girl who's getting a doll that she thinks is ugly. Later that night, the doll ends up killing both the parents. We also see the doll has a problem wetting himself. Wakes up. Turns out this is a dream. We meet Sykes, who is the ventriloquist for this doll. Shitface wondering a lot about his parents. He has these nightmares. This is kind of our introduction to this character. Ken, what did you think about the opening of this film?
I remember watching it for the first time going, what the fuck is going on? Yes. Like, what? I'm with you. Like, on first watch, I hated this movie.
Yep.
Like, I hated it. But I won't say I hated Bride on first watch. But Bride also kind of drove me nuts on the first watch too. Like, I thought it was a little too overly meta for that. Obviously it's grown on me as I've gotten older and less cynical.
Sure.
But like when you have this one and you're pissing your pants, I'm sitting there like, what are we doing? Yes. Like, what in the frick is going on here? Yeah. And it just like, I was so nervous about it at that point. I was like, there's no way I'm going to like this movie. Yeah. For Child's Play, the openings are usually pretty epic. Right. In the first one, you got the toy store. Even Bride has an epic opening. But then you get to this one, and it's this. Yeah. A doll pissing itself, being called shit-faced by a ventriloquist. I was like, oh, okay. Here we go. So, not still to this day, I think it's one of the weakest openings to a Child's Play.
I completely agree with you because, like I said, I hated this movie initially, and so when I went back to rewatch it a couple of days ago to get ready to review this with you, and I saw this opening scene, immediately I'm like, yep, I hate this. I remember now. I don't like this fucking movie, and I still don't like this opening at all. But it gets better, and I did not remember it getting better, but it does get better. We then cut to a man dressed as Santa Claus. He ends up getting killed by Chucky and Tiffany. On the scene of the new movie, Chucky Goes Psycho. And then we get to spend some time with Jennifer Tilly on set. Shitface ends up seeing a preview for this movie on TV, and he ends up escaping where he's at and tracking down the dolls the rebuilt dolls of Chucky and Tiffany to Hollywood. We get to see Jennifer. She's auditioning with Redman for a role in his new movie. Shitface somehow has the heart of Damballa. Maybe I missed something to know how he even got that, but he uses it to resurrect Chucky and Tiffany, who then decapitate the special effects tech, which is a great kill. We also then kind of get into this little bit there where they discover that Shitface has no genitals, and so Chucky's calling him Glenn, Tiff's calling him Glenda. Jennifer Tilly ends up finding the body of this tech, calls the police, but as she leaves to go home, the dolls sneak a ride with her. Mentioned a lot there, but not giving it back to you. So we don't like the opening, but now that we see how this is going to play out, Shitface resurrects him. We've got Jennifer Tilly doing her thing. What are your thoughts here on this group of scenes as things are starting to come into play?
It already warms up for me.
Sure.
Seeing Chucky kill Santa, there'll always be something special about blood in the snow in a horror movie to me.
Absolutely.
I'm a huge, huge fan of blood in the snow. You give me a winter horror movie and I'm sold. I'm in 100%. And then you get the malfunction of the doll and you're like, oh, fuck, this isn't real. You know what I mean? Like, because at first we think this is really what's going on.
Right. We think it's what's happening. Yeah.
Yeah. And then you get the malfunction and you get Chucky waving, and that's when Glenda sees the stamp.
Yes.
So that's when they realize these are my parents. And I love the fact that the makeup artist here actually is the one that gets got.
Right.
Here in a little bit. Like, it wasn't an actor. It was actually him.
Yeah.
The special effects guy, which we'll talk about in a minute. But it is funny that, they're on the set of the new film, Chucky Goes Psycho. And until you just said that a minute ago, I never put that together.
Oh, yeah.
That's so funny.
Yeah.
Like, I had no idea, but genuinely had no clue. So I do think that's awesome.
Yeah, I'm with you. And it does warm up for me pretty quickly as well, because as I started watching this and you see Chucky and Tiffany again, and yes, them killing Santa, even though we find out it's not real, but then we just start getting that interaction with them again. It immediately starts to make you enjoy the film more. Also, Jennifer Tilly, like we've already talked about, she's fantastic. So even when she's not playing Tiffany, when she's just being herself, she's captivating. She's so incredible. So you enjoy watching her. Did it tell how Shitface got the heart? Okay. I would like to have known. I don't know about you. Maybe that's too much, but I'm just like, where the fuck did he get this thing? Like, he just found out who they were.
Yeah. Not only that, how did he know the incantation?
Yeah. I'm with you 100%. Yeah, because he just saw the tattoo thing, the logo there made in China or whatever it said on the wrist. That's all he knew and assumed that was his parents, so he took off. Where did he get all this other stuff? That part as well bothered me a little bit. And so, yeah, I don't want to say that I just don't like the Glenda character, but it's those parts of the movie that are frustrating to me while I'm still loving what Chucky and Tiffany are doing.
Right. That's like, how does he know that he needs the amulet to wake him up? How does he know the incant? And again, we're splitting hairs about movies with killer dolls. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, that's true.
Like, oh, how does this killer doll? Like, that's so unreal. We're talking about killer dolls, man. We don't need to explain anything to us. But even though I'm watching a movie with killer dolls, I still want some semblance of reality in that world. You know what I mean? Like, how does this happen in that world? That's what I want to know.
Which we had gotten with the other films.
Right. Everything that in that world makes sense. Nothing's way too far-fetched.
Right.
This is way too far-fetched.
Yeah, I completely agree with you. Yeah, 100% agree with you, actually. So we then cut to Tiffany has decided now that they have this kid, as Ken was mentioning earlier, Tiffany does not want them to kill anymore. She wants them to stop killing. We also get some interaction between Jennifer and Redman. She has him over. She's trying to basically seduce him to get a part in his movie. Chucky and Tiffany.
Virgin Mary, baby.
Yes, the Virgin Mary. Chucky and Tiffany plan to basically transfer their souls into Redman and Jennifer. We also meet Pete, this paparazzi that's taking pictures outside. Tiffany ends up knocking out Redman and Jennifer. She also inseminates Jennifer with a turkey baster, which reminds me of Don't Breathe for some reason. Full of Chucky sperm. Chucky, though, and Glenda at the time, they take a little road trip. They end up following this paparazzi guy. They also run Britney Spears off the road. But we get there to the photo lab, and Glenn accidentally causes this acid to fall and kill Pete. Chucky's thrilled about it. Glenn's devastated. What did you think here about the, first of all, paparazzi kill, Chucky and Tiffany's plan, just all of this part here?
I hated the Britney Spears bullshit.
Agreed.
That was stupid. You have a Britney Spears look-alike, and then you got the whoops, I did it again. Like, I'm like, come on, man. Like,
that was
to me, well, to me, it's just it's low-hanging fruit.
Sure.
You know what I mean? It's a lame joke to me. That's it. It's just not a funny joke. It didn't land for me.
Right.
However, the John Waters kill,
yeah.
Wow. Watching that face melt,
yes.
So good. So good.
Yeah.
And just knowing that John Waters was always a big fan of Chucky and Child's Play, like that's cool to me.
Right. I agree.
I think you'll be remiss to find very, very few people in the horror realm that do not respect and love John Waters and what he's done in film. He's made some outlandish things that only John Waters could get away with.
That's true.
So, and God, that pencil mustache, dude. I wish I had the goods. I would so do it.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's so much about the John Waters kill that John Waters agreed to do this. And I don't even think it was like they had to twist his arm. I'm sure when John heard he was going to be a part of a Child's Play movie, he was like, okay, let's do it. How am I going to get killed? And yeah, I just think it's so good, man. And I do also want to say the sexual assault of Jennifer Tilly is lame. Like, I hate that. I get it. It's funny. It's done for jokes. But like you said, you watch it and don't breathe. A lot less funny.
Yeah.
A lot less jokey.
Right.
Yeah. To me, assault is assault, and impregnating someone artificially without their consent is sexual assault.
I agree.
So that's something that I besides this one moment, and thankfully it's played for laughs, like it's not gross. I mean, it is, you know what I mean? But it's not, as bad. I'm walking myself into a fucking corner here because all sexual assault's bad. There is not a sexual assault that is better than another, and that's not what I'm trying to say.
Right.
Like, I'm not trying to say, well, at least this didn't happen to her. But the way they played it in the movie wasn't as serious as it really is.
Right.
So that's what I'm trying to say. It's not as gross as it is in real life.
Sure.
Because of the way it was played.
Right.
Which I respect, because we'll talk about that again when we get to Cult. But yeah, I just think that the John Waters kill is one of my favorite parts of the whole movie.
I agree with you, and I think it kind of saves this area that we're talking about, because I agree with you. The Britney Spears thing I thought was stupid, and that joke does not land. I expect more from Chucky. Like, he's normally better than that. And then I agree. The sexual assault here thing and the turkey baster thing, it was played to be on the lighter side. I just didn't find it amusing at all. I just thought it was silly. And yeah, I mean, like you said, sexual assault is sexual assault. But in the middle of all
that changes because, when we watched it for the first time, we were a lot younger and not as educated as we are now.
Sure, absolutely.
And I think that if this were to happen in a movie now, even if it was played like this, we'd still be like, ooh, that's gross.
Yeah. No, I completely.
You know what I mean? Human beings grow and get different. As a little kid, the thought of, Jennifer Tilly getting pregnant by a turkey baster was hilarious. Yeah, sure. As a child, that was funny.
Way to put it, right.
As a 40-year-old man with daughters and a wife and a mom and friends and knowing the female sex, it's not fun.
Yeah, no, I completely agree with you, especially when you look at all the nonsense that women already have to put up. So, I agree. But all of that being said, in the middle of all this chaos and the stuff that's not so great, like you said, we get the John Waters kill that just looks fantastic, and kind of keeps this movie. It keeps this movie on track, because I didn't like the opening, and then I started enjoying it and thinking, okay, this is better than what I thought. And then you get some craziness going on, but then you get this. And so this movie's kind of like a roller coaster, to where part of the time I'm like, I really don't like this film. And then other times I'm like, oh, that was actually pretty badass. That was pretty cool. I like that. So there's a lot of that. It doesn't have the consistency that a lot of the Child's Play films have, but it has its moments. Jennifer wakes up. She gets sick. She realizes that she's pregnant. It's a voodoo pregnancy, so it's happening really fast, which I did find a little bit funny. She ends up confronting Red Man, telling him about it, but he reveals he had a vasectomy. So and now he can't hire her because she's pregnant, which seems to upset Tiffany, who then guts and kills Red Man. We also get Glenn and Glenda seeing that. The next day, Jennifer wakes up. Now she's fully pregnant. Um, Chucky captures her. Now he's also going to get her limo driver, Stan, and that's the way they're going to do things. We have Joan, her assistant, arriving, and now we get our separation between Glenn and Glenda, because Glenda ends up killing Joan, and we get this whole two souls, one body. Glenn is a pacifist. Glenda is a psycho. What did you think about this set of scenes?
Love the Red Man evisceration.
Yeah, it was great.
The practical effects here are great. The mood swings of Tiffany are always funny to me. She's in love with Jennifer. She wants to become Jennifer. Now she's sad Jennifer doesn't get the role, so she kills Red Man for disrespecting her because she's pregnant. That's always been funny to me. But like I said, overall, we've already talked about two of my favorite scenes in the whole movie, and that's the Red Man evisceration and the John Waters kill. And again, would this be as iconic to me if it wasn't John Waters and Red Man? I don't know. Because I grew up listening to, Red Man, Method Man.
Sure.
I grew up How High was one of my favorite movies when I was young. So like, I'm a ghost. I used to love How High. I used to love listening to, Raza, and I used to love that shit. So So there would it be as great? I don't know, but I love the fact that it's Red Man and John Waters that are doing this in this film.
Yeah, I agree. Here's the one place. So through all of this, we were talking earlier about Quentin Tarantino. I do think I would have liked to have seen this though with Tarantino. This is a great kill with Gutted, but now imagining that this could have been Tarantino and him being gutted like this, I'm like, that might would have been better. This is great, but that would have been really cool to see. But it does just make me wonder how that would have played out. But yeah, it was another great kill, just like you said. And still, I think what is holding me in here, because I still find myself, for the most part, just not fully into the Glenda character. I do like the fact that we find out they've kind of got some different personalities here. I didn't think that was too bad. But it's Chucky and Tiffany that are still the entertaining parts of this film to me. They're what's carrying this, is the moment you're getting with them. Jennifer ends up giving birth to twins. We get a boy and a girl. I guess Tiffany decides that's what it is, that the babies can be inhabited by Glenn and Glenda, so they all get that as well. And then we get Chucky's turn, like you were talking about earlier, which I agree with you. It doesn't make sense for Chucky to no longer want to be human. But his speech cracks me up. I do like his speech right there when he's talking about he's Chucky, the killer doll, and this kind of thing. I did enjoy his speech. It doesn't make sense that he would change his mind so easily, but I did like that part. Tiffany's upset now. She's going to leave him. Chucky tries to throw a knife at her, or at Jennifer, but Stan jumps in the way. He gets killed. And then as the police arrive, the dolls are able to escape. We get Jennifer in the hospital, but Tiffany ends up being there. She drugs her. She starts to possess her, but Chucky breaks in and kills Tiffany. Glenn then attacks Chucky. He thinks it's Glenda. Turns out that it's Glenn, and he dismembers Chucky, but then begins to cry, and we get Jennifer comforting him. So all of this wrapping up here in the hospital. Chucky and Tiffany are going at it. What were your thoughts here? Were you enjoying the way it played out? Was it, the two meta thing? Was it bothering you? As this film's getting closer to ending, where were you standing?
I think that the big part right here that really got me is, Chucky, that's my boy.
Yeah.
And obviously seeing Chucky get dismembered is obviously awesome. We love that. But, did we talk about how we find out that Tiffany's been killing on the side too?
We didn't mention it. You were mentioning earlier that Tiffany wanted to stop killing, and then I meant to bring up, she's still doing it, but I never did say that. So, go ahead.
So we find out that this whole time Tiffany's also still been killing on the side, which again is fucking hilarious.
Yeah.
Like, the whole hypocrisy of it, of like trying to stop the killing, but then she's actually been doing it the whole time. I think that's hilarious. But I don't know. Like, I will also say that I don't think this third act is particularly strong. Chucky getting dismembered is great. Like that's fantastic. But there's a lot of things that open up right here that leave you like, how the hell is this going to work?
Yeah. Yeah, I'm with you 100%. I don't necessarily like how this all ends and the way it goes. We then do cut to our finale. It's now 5 years later. Jennifer is raising Glenn and Glenda. Those souls did get transferred into the bodies of the two children. The nanny gets upset and quits, and then basically Jennifer ends up attacking her and killing her. And it's kind of revealed that Tiffany was able to complete her little possession thing there before Chucky interrupted. So Tiffany is now inside Jennifer. Glenn gets his birthday present. He opens it up. Chucky's arm is in there. It ends up springing up and attacking Glenn, and that's how this one films. Ends. Excuse me. We were just talking about how this third act wasn't great. I don't think I'm a huge fan of this finale either. There's a couple of things I guess maybe it's okay, but overall, I'm just like, man, for a movie to be so up and down on the roller coaster that I was on, that was not a great finish.
No. And I think the other big part of that, too, that we're talking about, if she went into Jennifer, that would mean Jennifer went into her and Jennifer died.
Right.
Yet Jennifer comes back. Like, again, it's stuff like that just drives me nuts. It really, really just bothers me when I see stuff like that.
I agree. I'm with you 100%. Before we try to rate this thing, is there anything else you wanted to mention about Seed of Chucky?
I think that, again, while it's not the best in this franchise, in my opinion, it's the bottom half, I still don't think it's a god-awful movie by any stretch of the imagination. I've seen way worse movies than this in my life.
Sure. I agree with you 100%. And that's really what I was determining when I watched it again the other night, because for so long, I've thought I hated this movie. Watching it the other night, there are parts of it that I really don't like, but I don't hate the movie. I mean, when you look at some of the other big franchises out there, they've all got duds, right? I mean, not every Friday the 13th movie is great. Not every Halloween movie is great. Not every Nightmare movie is great. Certainly not every Texas Chainsaw movie is great. They've all got their problems. And this one is kind of the problem here. But still, I almost feel like that if this is the worst we get of Chucky, it's better than the worst we get of some of these others, in my opinion.
Oh shit, not even close. Like, yeah, this is your worst movie. You are laughing, with the exception of Scream and Evil Dead. I don't think that there's a Scream or Evil Dead movie that's worse than Seed of Chucky, in my opinion. Besides that, every other franchise, in my opinion, has 1, 2, or 3 movies worse than Seed of Chucky. Yep. So yeah, especially a long-running franchise like this. Let's say over 9 films.
Yeah, I agree with you 100% actually. Okay, Ken. So on the scale of 1 to 10, what would you give Seed of Chucky?
5. I'll go right down the middle.
Okay. That's funny. I think that's 100% fair, because had you asked me what I would have rated it before my rewatch the other day, I would have told you this was a 2 or a 3, because again, I thought I hated this film. Watching it the other day, I'm like, it's not great, but it's not bad. I mean, it's as middle as you could possibly be, in my opinion, because there are some things that I really like. There are some things that I really don't. But at the end of the day, if I'm watching Chucky and Tiffany, it's kind of fun. So, I mean, I was right there with you. I wrote down a 5 as well, which is better than what I thought. So that is definitely the lowest one we've scored so far. I can't wait to hear your opinion of Curse and Cult. And then I keep saying this is my least favorite in the franchise. Depends on whether you want to count that 2019 bullshit, because I don't like that, and I thought we might try to talk about it it too at some point. But yeah, this is our lowest one so far.
I want to talk about it because I do like it, so I think it'll be fun to bounce off each other on that one.
Yeah, because so far we've agreed so much, which is fine. But yeah, we're going to be bouncing off and going back and forth. That might be fun as well, because I don't like that movie. So that's going to be that will be fun to talk about for sure. So yes, that'll wrap up Seed of Chucky. Ken and I both say 5 out of 10. Leave me some comments and let me know what you think about this one. Do you kind of agree with us? It's the worst in the franchise, or do you like it? I mean, because again, there are some good parts. Before we, though, wrap up and get out of here, Ken, go ahead and take another minute again to talk about Sledgehammer Horror, anything that you have coming up, and where everybody can find you.
Yeah, so like I said yesterday, Thursday, we released our Ice Cream Man review. So please go check that out. Let us know what you think about that. Coming up next week, we have a My First Horror Movie with Jimmy, Samantha, and Swift of Horror 365.
Nice.
An interview with Ellison Winterstein and Harrison Orwig of The House on the Lake. Our spoiler review of Jeepers Creepers 3. And then Friday will be our review of The End of Oak Street. So nice. Very excited for you guys all to see all that.
Yes, definitely go check it out. And speaking of Horror 365, go back now on my channel. I just had a live stream this past Tuesday where Jimmy and Swift from Horror 365, as well as Cece from Cece's Horror, were all three on with me, and we were talking about the first Leprechaun movie. So if you didn't get to watch that live stream, go back and check that out. It is there on my channel as well. Let's see what I have coming up next week. I have an episode coming up on The Long Walk. I have episodes coming up, the Texas Chainsaw Massacre movies from 2003, Wrong Turn 3 with Matt from Getting Off. And then I have another live stream next week, Tuesday the 11th. Brendan and Sam from Our Life in Horror, as well as Mikey from Slasher Radio, possibly Cass. We're all going to talk about the Evil Dead franchise and rank those films.
Nice.
That will be this coming Tuesday. Looking forward to that. Be sure and subscribe so you don't miss anything. Follow me on social media. I'm pretty much on everything out there. Blue Sky, Instagram, Threads, X, TikTok, Letterboxd. Just search Sean's Horror Corner and you will be able to find it. Ken, as always, it's been an honor having you on. Thank you so much again, sir, I know you're so busy, so any time that you have to spare, thank you for coming on and talking Chucky with me.
Oh, dude, literally, I love this. I look forward to these. So thank you for allowing me to come on and talk about Chucky and try to sound a little bit smarter than I truly am.
That's what I try to do every time I do an episode. Try to sound like I know what I'm talking about a little bit. Everyone, thank you all so much for watching. Like I said, subscribe, like, share, comment, hype. You do all those things, and I will see you soon.